Hey, you guys. This is the Kingdom of Israel, an intentional community, and indigenous micronation. Our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel as we make our way from an online community to on-land intentional community. Sorry. Links are on the page and in the description. So, what do I mean by, faith without works? Just, as the scriptures say, faith without works is dead, man. And if you don't put in the work to prove your level of faith, then, you know what I'm saying, you're not really doing anything. You're not really doing anything with your faith. All who say, Lord, Lord, aren't going to be the ones who, are really doing anything. Just because you say, Lord, Lord, Lord this, Lord that, that doesn't mean that you're actually putting in work. Those are just words. So faith without works, faith without works is dead. You're not doing anything to back up your words, and you must back up your words if you want to prove your level of faith. It requires action. That's the main ingredient to anything. It requires that you put in action. Sorry, excuse me. It requires you put in action to prove your level of faith. Not that you need to, in a sense, I guess, prove it, but you must persuade the Most High to help you. It takes persuasion. Everything in life is a negotiation. And, even with negotiating with the Lord, negotiating with the Most High. To negotiate with the Most High, you must put in your actions. Your actions must demonstrate your level of faith. Your actions are your way of negotiating with the Most High. So, as the scriptures say, salvation isn't going to come through observation. I know a lot of our people think, you can go to church and, I'm saved and, not my Jesus, but that's not practical. That's not pragmatic. The Bible is a revolutionary book, and that book requires that you put in actions. Even when it comes down to putting your fringes on, and that's an action. That's an action because the Lord wants you to do that. Not only does it represent who you are, it also demonstrates your image. It's a cultural thing, a tradition. And when all things fail, tradition is what usually holds up a society. If excuse me, if society were to collapse, basically it all come down to your values, morals, and your ethics. How you demonstrate who you are. If you're an honorable person, if you're a righteous person, or you're wicked and unrighteous. It comes down to, basically your culture, your values. What do you prioritize? What is very important to you? So, as I stated before, salvation doesn't come through observation. You must do something. You must put forth an action to demonstrate not only to the people, around you, um, that demonstrate that you're really about a certain lifestyle, but also, it demonstrates to the Lord, or, for you esoteric guys, the universe, or the Most High, or like that Native Indians say, the Great Spirit. So you must demonstrate, your culture, the traditions that, this Israelite culture is really about, being what it's about, about being a Israelite. That's what it's, if you're gonna be an Israelite, you must, in a sense, act that way. And for instance, me right now, I have um, my braids. Samson had locks. When you lock the hair, it creates a braid. So, that's one way. Another way is what I stated before was, your fringes on your clothes, a garment. So, you must do these things. The dietary law, all these things demonstrate to God who you are as a person. Not only that, but of course, like I said, the people around you. And for the most part, our people aren't willing to really put in that work of, not only demonstrating who you are, even, like I said, there's levels to this. Everybody, is on their own path individually within the collective, on their journey. Everybody has their own story, their own movie, their own, movie realm, called reality. Everybody's got in their bubble, their own world. So in your world, in your bubble or whatever, you must demonstrate, if you say you're about something, you ought to act that out. And from what, I mostly see is that our people aren't really willing to put in, I'm gonna say, that extra mile. I see it as far as, there's a lot of churches being built. I do see that. I see a lot of churches being built, and I'm not talking about, just Christianity, because there's Israelite Christianity, there's Islam, the mosque or whatever. That's these are actions to a certain degree, and to take things a step further would be, to create a community. If you're going to take it that step farther, then gathering together with other brothers and sisters doing business is the way you take that to the next level. The best way to do business is to generate an internal economy. Brothers and sisters doing business with each other, and circulating that economy within us. Creating our own currency. These things are, the next level. I know people, when they do create churches, they do some business, and a business of faith, where they may pay tithes and, circulate, a little bit, but most of it goes to the pastor, and or whoever, bishop or whatever they may call themselves, at their top rank or whatever, the top G or whatever you want to call it. That's it. Mostly goes to that upper echelon of people. And sometimes, if a sister or brother needs they light bill paid, then they'll do that. That church may go ahead and do that, if they're, willing to help out. So excuse me. there's nothing wrong with churches, and I see the reason for it. I'm not against churches. I just want more for our people. That's all. And for the most part, we're really mentally stuck because we're so stuck that we really can't see. Maybe we can, but see how we're going to do a separation of church and state. Me, I kind of got it figured out. That's why I'm doing this community thing. You know, that's why I'm starting the intentional community, because I kind of got it more figured out than most people on how governments kind of run things and how you want to set things up. So if more of our people could get unstuck from this, as far as the religious aspect, then that would help us out actually a great deal. Because like I said, I'm not totally against this. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be things that you shouldn't hold sacred. That's not what I'm saying. It's it's obvious there's things that should be held sacred, and with that should be taken care of, and to certain rituals and traditions that's actually needed for for just about every culture I can think of. Every culture just about has their own faith, their own God, and certain things they hold as sacred. That's needed. That's part of that culture. And as I stated before, that's something, if you get rid of money and everything, material aspects, it always going to come down to the values and ethics, and principles that culture holds to be valuable. Tradition. So if we could get unstuck from worshiping Jesus, it could it do us a whole lot better. We really need communities. That's one of the main things we really need right now. I think there might be. I know there are a lot of European and Australian, Saudi Arabian, Indian communities, intentional communities. But as far as our people, there really aren't so many. I can't even name too many. I know back then in the 1920s and the 1930s, we had plenty of cities and towns all across America. But of course, like I stated in my last video, America doesn't like to see this, because when America sees us gathering like that and forming our own communities and taking care of each other and self-governing our communities, America sees this as that their time is running short, because all it takes for us to really, for America to end, all it really takes is for the indigenous people of this land to come together and reclaim their land, because this is our land. All of it, all of this is ours. North America is ours. So, that's all it really takes. So, we must shake ourselves from the dust. We must get up out this slump that we're in. So act within your faith. Whatever level of faith you have, this is the solution. The solution is just whatever level of faith you have. If going to camp and hollering at people, if that's your thing, do that, because I'm not against it. I know we need somebody to spread the truth, I understand it. I'm not against it. And if your level of faith is just to watch YouTube videos on Israelite stuff, that's fine. Do that. And if you gain more faith, then you'll put forth more action and just take it from there. So take it little by little, step by step. You don't have to, do the whole thing in one big go, because everything happens in a process as a process. Things take time. You go according to whatever level of zeal you have. That's how you should take it. Whatever level of zeal you have, you take it from there and put in the small steps that will eventually lead to bigger steps. And that's it's better that you do that. Don't burn yourself out. Don't just go according to your zeal. But and like I said, if you're a true believer, in the Most High, you're gonna do those steps, no matter how small, or how big. You take those steps, and you do that. If just watching YouTube videos, or just doing the dietary law, or watching class from time to time, that's your thing. Or going to camp, or being in the Israelite church. I understand. I'm not against it. I say go for it. Do all you can to keep yourself on that righteous path. Do all you can to stay on that straight path. And staying on that path will lead you to salvation. It'll lead you to the wisdom you need to be saved. But first, like I said, to be saved, it's gonna take actions. Actions is what's gonna take us there. I know I've said it before, but it's not gonna come through observation. It's not about observation. It's don't just observe. Do a little bit by little. So if I would have it my way, or if you're asking, a suggestion, I would say, put down the Christianity, because like our official stance is we don't subscribe to the Piso Jesus doctrine. That's something the Romans made up. The New Testament was actually created 60 years after Christ's death, but yet they say, these gospels are eyewitness testimonies, but they're not. It's a Roman doctrine. Our official stance is that we see the scriptures, mainly the Old Testament, as our best viable source of wisdom. And from there we use it like that. We take the wisdom of the scriptures and apply it to our life. So you could do it like how I just said, that because that's our point of view. Or like I said, if you are Israelite Christian, or you're just a Christian or whatever, take it one step at a time. Start practicing the high holy days and the Passover and such, and try to keep the commandments. Whatever step it takes, just do that. So like I said, if it was my way, I'd say put it down, because I feel as though we're wasting time just waiting on somebody. There's no need for you to wait. And really, let me put it to you like this. When Christ comes back, he's going to need a nation to rule over. So, whether he comes or doesn't, he still needs something to rule over. He still needs a people to rule over. So you're not really, you shouldn't be waiting on him, because it's more so he's waiting on you. So don't get it twisted. It still comes down to you to put forth that action. So put forth that action, man. Don't waste your time just waiting on I hate to say it, man. Don't just waste your time waiting on a dead man. Christ already gone. He did his work. Or there were many Christs. Christ was just, Jesus Christ was the Christ of that time. Christ just means anointed. So you don't have to wait on him. Start now. Start putting forth the action. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's really up to you. Of course, it's going to be the collective, the masses, all of Israel. But of course, in your individual life, you must put forth that action. So don't wait. Don't wait at all. The kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of God is within you. So you must still put forth that action for your own salvation. So, with that, I hope you guys, like this class, this speech, and I hope you got something out of it. With that, this is the Kingdom of Israel. We are an intentional community and indigenous micronation. Our big purpose is to bring together the 12 tribes of Israel as we go from an online community to a on-land community. And links are in the page and description. And you guys have a nice day. Shalom.